So it's not working with YouTube because they have the money to just go, no thanks. You know what? We can fight you. We can fight you because, like Jonas said before, that's not their bread and butter.
Renegade Online.
Every time you come up with a new carriage deal, okay, that you have to negotiate, or a renewal of a contract, as is the case here between Disney and Google. DirecTV, remember Spectrum a year ago, really wanted to force the issue with Disney, and that took time. Why? Because they were trying to break new ground with Disney, meaning that, all right, you want to charge us all this money, you want to increase your fees and all this kind of stuff. You have so much dead weight that you're throwing at us that we really don't want. And in addition to that, you're hitting our customers a second time to sign up and get Disney Plus because you're pulling stuff away from the linear cable channels that you're forcing us to pay more money for now. So Spectrum put Disney in a corner and said, we're going to hold the line and we don't really care anymore. We'll kill our TV business and we'll create a deal with, Fubo or whatever it was at the time. Fine. Disney caved in and they gave them, every Spectrum subscriber then was given a Disney Plus subscription, the ad-based tier, as part of their cable package. Boom. Then Comcast got it, then DirecTV got it. That's how things change. Understand what Google is trying to do right now. And Bob Iger talking at the end of the call about, even they admit that we have we have the biggest impact. Well, everybody knows that. ESPN as a block drives the most viewership. The problem is that Google wants ESPN and they want that block, and they're willing to pay for it. They don't want to pay Disney all the extra money for the trash that Disney packages with it. They don't want to pay more dollars for Freeform and for all these other things. They're not interested in all of this. And think of it this way. It's the same thing we talked about years ago. And people ask, why is it that companies like Hasbro keep farting out all of these toys for Marvel and even for Star Wars that nobody wants? And they have to know up front, nobody wants. Captain Marvel dolls sitting on the shelf, right? And all this, the female Black Panther stuff that nobody bought. Why are they making it? Because if Hasbro wants the contract for Avengers and Spider-Man and all the stuff that does sell, although nowhere near as well as it did 5 years ago, if they want to be able to make Avengers stuff, they have to, by contract, fart out some Captain Marvel dolls that nobody's going to buy. The same is true when it comes to carriage negotiations with all of these companies, Disney especially. When it comes to these guys having to, Disney wants to package the whole thing together. We don't want the whole we want ESPN. We don't need the other trash because nobody watches the trash. And our subscribers don't care about the trash. We can put it in a separate package, but no, Disney doesn't want to break it up because they know if they break it up, what's going to happen is it's going to set the precedent. It's going to become a rolling issue, okay? It's going to be favored nation status going forward so that everybody else after this coming up is going to want the same deal saying, we don't want the trash. We just want ESPN. That's all we need is ESPN and ABC. You can keep the trash. That's why Disney doesn't want to back down. That's what this fight is really over. Google is trying to use their power and leverage to finally put baby in a corner here, put Disney in a corner and try to force them to break up their offering as opposed to being one big pile of stuff.
So just to bring some context to the Spectrum deal, when Disney came into that negotiation with Spectrum, they had 18 channels that were on Spectrum.
Yep.
When they finally caved in, only 10 Disney channels ended up on Spectrum. And then a little while later, those other 8 channels reappeared on Spectrum. I think that was probably an attempt to negotiate and try to pretend like those other 8 channels had value. So with YouTube TV, YouTube TV is a grand experiment. Google has shown that they will abandon potential multi-billion-dollar businesses.
Yep.
For reasons that would flummox a normal company that has to make money. Because, they want to make money, but that's not where they're going to make most of their money. So looking at this, they finally came up against a company that they can bleed subscribers because what they really want is the data, knowing what everybody watches so that they can advertise more thoroughly to them. Disney right now has ESPN and they have FX and ABC. Maybe a little bit of that Disney Channel content can appeal to teenage girls, but outside of that, there's nothing in those bundles that has mass market appeal, as much as Disney would like to say otherwise. So there's whatever ESPN is, and by the way, they're paying through the nose in order to have that ESPN content locked onto their streamer there. So they have to make money on that.
Yep.
It's very clear what they're doing here, and the statement that they know their value and they're trying to avoid blackouts. Blackouts are the strategy for ESPN at this point. So that is disingenuous, if not an outright lie.
They always have been. Why do you think all of these major carriage negotiations, all these major renewals with Disney, always come up when? Right after football season starts, right after college, in the middle of college football season, at the beginning of college football season, because the SEC, matter of fact, this is the secret they don't want to tell you. It's the SEC. That's what's keeping ESPN alive.
Yeah.
The SEC, okay, the Southeastern Conference, especially in football season. This is it. And this is when Disney has the most clout and power to hold over the other side of the negotiating table, whether it's Spectrum or Comcast or YouTube TV or DirecTV or whatever. You notice all these deals always happen in October. This is when they always are set to come up for renewal because of the football schedule, because this is where ESPN has it. And when you're talking about the SEC, you're talking about, by far and away, the largest audience in college sports is the SEC. Okay? Second place is Big Ten. But the SEC is far and away, because the SEC fans are rabid. Disney knows this. That's why they pay through the nose every year when the contract renegotiations come up, or every so many years when it comes up with the SEC, because they know they can get it because of the audience out there. And they will hold it over somebody like YouTube to say, too bad. Well, this is what it is. You want it. You're missing football games. Look at the 20, 30, 40 million eyeballs collectively in the SEC that you're missing every single week by not airing these games.
What I'm hearing in regards to this YouTube TV situation, Jonas, this will be new to you. I haven't even shared this behind the scenes yet. Apparently, Dana Walden and Alan Bergman, according to our source, again, rumor, but Alan Bergman and you're good. Alan Bergman and Dana Walden were negotiating with YouTube behind the scenes. You're back. Into the early morning hours, trying to get a deal done in time for this earnings report. What I'm hearing is that the position that YouTube TV is likely to force upon Disney was not the kind of thing that they wanted to accept it before the earnings report, because it would have sucked all the oxygen out of the room, because it would not have been the kind of thing you would want going into an earnings report. I don't know exactly what it is, but I can tell you that basically YouTube TV, aka Google, they only want ABC and the ESPN channels. They don't want anything else, even Disney Channel.
YouTube is they don't want the trash. They don't want the freeform stuff. They don't want they don't want any of that. They want ABC. They want ESPN. They're trying to force Disney into breaking it up to where they're not paying for a giant bundle. So it's not working with YouTube, because they have the money to just go, no thanks. You know what? We can fight you. We can fight you. Because, like Jonas said before, that's not their bread and butter.
I'm going to throw in here, it looks like Alex Sherman from CNBC is saying publicly, or at least in his newsletter, that they want ESPN Unlimited for subscribers, which that's something that's already out there.
Yep.
The wrinkle that I'm not sure about, I don't think this is offered to other carriage deals. They want all of that content delivered via the YouTube TV app experience, which that's a huge hassle if that's not something that they have the ability to do right now.
You're talking about the actual streaming services that are exclusive to ESPN's flagship, like all the behind the scenes. So if you have ESPN
Unlimited, including all programming linear within the YouTube TV viewing experience.
Yeah, so you don't have to. So the point is that you'll be able to watch all of the special stuff that ESPN delivers through the app that they don't deliver through linear broadcast.
Right.
But YouTube doesn't want you to have to leave the YouTube app to go to Disney's app to watch it.
They want to sit there and watch you watch it, so they can watch your behavior, so they can sell you more stuff.
Exactly. That's the bottom line. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And they have the ability to hold out for that.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.